I'm going to be walking you guys through how I plan for the new year 2025. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Christine, and on this channel we share all things faith, fashion, and lifestyle. And I just wanted to bring you guys along so you guys can plan with me. The first thing that I like to do is grab a journal. Now, this is a yearly journal, but I also have my Sit Time with God journal, which is where I just write down the things that God is talking to me about during my sit time with God. But one thing that I recently started doing, and is an idea that I got from other YouTubers, is just sitting down and reflecting on the old year. So for 2024, what you're going to need is just a plain sheet. You could also do this on your journal. You just want to turn a plain sheet and you just want to label like all of the 12 months starting from January all the way to December, and you just want to think about highlights for that year. So how I like to do this is go through my pictures. I personally don't take a lot of pictures, but I'm just going to go through my pictures starting at January, and I'm going to write down all the highlights or all the good things I can remember about each month. Next, I'm going to write down some of the lessons that I have learned this year, lessons that God is teaching me, or lessons that I've learned from mistakes that I've made this year. What I'm going to do next is just sit down in quietness and just think about how I want this new year to be. So that could be in terms of career, in terms of relationship, my work with God, all areas of my life basically. I'm just going to take a few minutes. It doesn't have to be that long, and you don't have to think about it too deeply for now. Just write down all of the things that you would like to achieve in the new year. I have already written mine down and I'm going to go through it. One thing I like to do after writing all of them down is just sit down with God in silence and just pray over them. I like to pray over them and just tell God that as much as I want to achieve all of these things, I also don't want to achieve it outside of God's will for my life. The Bible tells us that many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. And that's from Proverbs 19 verse 21. That is one of my favorite scriptures, because it just tells us that as much as we want to achieve all these grandiose things, right, at the end of the day, all we can do is plan and try to execute them, but at the end of the day, God's will for our lives always prevail above what we want. When I sit down in silence, I just tell God that if there's anything on this list that He would like me to take out of the list, He should let me know. And if there are things that I haven't included in that list that He would like me to include, then He should lay it in my heart and I write them down. What I want to do next is to go ahead and break them down into quarterly goals. First 4 months of the year, I want to sit down and write down the goals I'd like to achieve, and then I would like to, because most of the goals that I have here are things that honestly, if I don't put like a specific timeline to, I would just feel like I have the whole year to achieve them. And the truth is that we know how 2024 flew by like this. So you don't want to wake up and it's December 31st, 2025 and you haven't done anything. So break them down into quarterly goals and put a timeline on each and every one of them. After I have done that, after I've broken them down, I want to now put them into my journal. Now, when it comes to planning for the month, while you can plan for the month, I like to leave my daily to-do list until like the week off, so I can like just plug in some of the things I would like to do within the month of January, but I'm not going to go into too much detail with them. But then as the week unfolds, I begin to have more clarity about the things that I like to do or want to do. The last thing that I like to do is also to find scriptures of the Bible that talk about some of the plans that I have, put them along with the plans that I have. One thing I also plan to do in 2025, which I did not do in 2024, was review these goals on a weekly basis. And I know some people even review their goals on a daily basis. And that's something that I would love to try in 2025. I would like to go back on a daily basis, and those goals that I wrote down as my quarterly goals, I would want to go back to them and see how am I actively working toward them this week. What am I doing to get closer to that goal? And yeah, that is basically how I plan to go through my year. I have my goals already written down. Now I'm just going to spend some time just transferring them into my journal. I'm going to do this off camera, and then I'm going to come back and round up this video. So I have written down everything for the year, like my highlights for the year, and um some months were just pretty like low key, like February. Nothing really happened, at least from the pictures I went through. Well, it doesn't have to be like packed full. I just wrote like bullet points of like what happened in each month, and I was actually surprised by the amount of things that I was able to write down. So I think this is a really, really good practice. And you're also going to just write down the lessons that you've learned. And then after that, you start going in and filling each month with the goals, and you're going to be adding timelines. So for each month, I know I like to grow it up to 2,000 subscribers. So I would just go in and put like a number for each month. So realistically speaking, if I want like 2,000 subscribers at the end of the year, I'm going to divide that 2,000 by 12 months, and that's going to tell me how many followers that I need to get each month. Now, I might meet those goals, but if I don't, that's okay. I just have something to aim for, because when you have something to aim for, you know when you miss it, right? But if you have nothing to aim for, then you're just gonna get it every time. I have like trips that I like to go in the year, and I'm just gonna put in my journal like timelines when I would like to actually go on those trips. So yeah, that's basically it. You should have an accountability partner, somebody that you can talk to about those things that you're planning to do, somebody you trust. You don't want to share your dreams and goals with just anybody. So in terms of like my goals, career goals, I have people in my life that I trust that I'm going to share those goals with and have them hold me accountable to them. One thing I feel like is going to make your planning for the year successful, and this is really going to determine if you are going to achieve the goals that you set out to or not, is creating systems where on those days that you don't feel motivated to do the things that you know you should be doing, you have systems in place that can kind of like fail proof systems that you just know that whether you feel like doing it or not, you have a timeline, you have people holding you accountable, and you've created systems around you where you just have to do the things you have to do, whether it's comfortable or not. And I had said this on my previous video that God has blessed each and every one of us with gifts and talents, and I truly want 2025 to be the year that you are stretched and you're able to achieve much more than you ever imagined you were capable of achieving. And that's only going to happen if you take out the time at the beginning of the year to actually plan how you want your year to be prayerfully and then actively work towards achieving those goals. I wanted to share with you guys my planning process. I hope this helps you to take out some time to plan your year as well. And I'm praying and hoping that 2025 is going to be your best year yet. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on my next video. Until then, bye.